Market is booming. Congratulations, everybody. If you own Magic the Gathering, you're probably making money. So great. That being said, when the market's booming, there's often lots of opportunities to make money, lots of opportunities to invest and buy things. Often the things that you think are cool, other people also think are cool. And right now, prices are going up. Will it stay? Will it be sustained? I actually think it could. I mean, of course it could. That's a silly thing to say. I think it could. Of course it could. I think it will. I think a lot of these collector booster box products are being bought and the prices are going up. And I think that the demand is at least partially organic. Organic enough to sustain the higher prices. That's my official position on a lot of these collector booster box price movements. I don't think that the collector booster box for the collector's edition of Lord of the Rings is going to suddenly drop down 10 grand from 10 grand down to 6 grand because a bunch of supply is going to come to market. I also don't think that's going to happen to March of the Machines or Phyrexia All Will Be One or some of these other sets that have seen spikes recently. I think that a lot of these higher prices are here to stay. Perhaps they won't spike much more. Perhaps we've missed the boat, but it certainly seems like Magic prices for collector booster boxes and other products are going up, and we're not going to see them go down. So that being said, there's still opportunities to make money. There's still opportunities to buy things that have potential to go up in the future. And there's also opportunities to make really dumb decisions with your money. And so let's talk about all of them. So first off, something I want to the economist in me needs to kind of discuss and level set. Wizards of the Coast makes money from selling trading cards. They're sealed in booster boxes. Whatever they're able to sell to distribution, who then sells to stores, who then sells to you, or you buy straight from the store or straight from distribution on TCG Player or eBay or whatever. Wizards of the Coast needs to print as many cards as they can and sell those cards. There has been a surplus demand in the market as of the past, I'll say like year. And by that, I mean that people are buying and opening play booster boxes faster than Wizards of the Coast is able to print them. We're able to see this with a number of sets. We're able to see a lack of restocks. We've seen there's a number of YouTube channels recently who have commented on how there is a drought of Magic the Gathering product where Marvel Superheroes came out, but where's the restock for Final Fantasy or Edge of Eternities or Lorne Eclipsed or, I mean, a number of these sets have decent amount of product on the market, but there's a number of sets that don't. You know, if you go further back to like Bloomborough or Outlaws of Thunder Junction or Murders of Kalaw Manor, products are drying up. Even things like Assassin's Creed, which, I mean, Wizards of the Coast isn't going to print more Assassin's Creed, but drying up at distribution. There is a drought of Magic product getting to distribution. There is a surplus of demand. Wizards of the Coast is not able to print cards as fast as people are consuming them right now. That could change, but that is the case right now. So, when Wizards of the Coast is planning on their next set and what to print and what to produce, they already have this concept, this reality, which is that there is demand. People are buying our stuff. They want our stuff. When they make a decision about how much to print for especially things like a play booster box, there is no incentive to underprint. There's no reason to believe that if you print too many boxes that the market won't be able to accept them. Now, there is a limit in capacity in what Wizards is able to print. However, in order to keep the ball rolling, in order to meet quarterly goals, to make revenue, to stay in line with investors' expectations for Hasbro as a company, sets that release have to have product. And they have to have as much product as possible because stuff is selling. So that is to say, the odds of Wizards of the Coast printing the product that's going to come out next and printing a lot of it is very high. It takes away from the odds that Wizards of the Coast is going to go back to Bloomborough, back to Lost Caverns of Ixalan, back to Wilds of Eldraine, and reprint those. So it's very likely the new stuff is going to have a ton of product. It is less and less likely that the old stuff is going to get a restock. That is my opinion and what I am reading of the situation between the lines of what Wizards of the Coast incentives are and what they will do. It's also what has happened, right? So if we check out something like Strixhaven or Lorne Eclipsed, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, recent sets. We can take a look at Strixhaven on my computer screen right now. These boxes are sitting around 130 on TCG Player, which is great. Great price. What's interesting is that before the set came out, people were pre-ordering these for 160, and then the price goes down, down, down. Release, it goes back up some, but then settles around this kind of 130 mark. There's plenty of Secrets of Strixhaven right now. It's going to run out. I honestly think getting a case of Secrets of Strixhaven and sticking in your closet for 6 months is a good purchase. I think that's a good opportunity. But if you were pre-ordering Secrets of Strixhaven on TCG Player and you spent $160 to buy the box, and especially if you're doing that as an investment vehicle, would not feel good. Hence, my opinion on pre-ordering the Hobbit play booster boxes for $190. This is not a good purchase. I understand the hype. There's a lot of people that are very optimistic that this set is going to be gangbusters and just be Lord of the Rings Special Collector's Edition Part 2. Lord of the Rings Collector's Edition collector booster boxes are collector booster boxes. They're not play booster boxes, for one. And for two, for this price to hold, there would have to be such low supply in the market of these boxes and such high demand for play booster boxes. It's impossible. It is impossible. And it's not just TCG Player pre-ordering at these inflated prices. There's a lot of websites right now that are pre-ordering these Hobbit play booster boxes for $170, $180, $190, and these will not hold that price. We can take a look at recent set that's come out that is Universes Beyond. Is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as popular as The Hobbit will be? No. But that being said, I mean, wow, this is crazy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles play booster boxes are selling for $105. Despite the distribution, higher prices because it's Universes Beyond, these prices for these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles play booster boxes are down, down, down. Down in the sewers with the Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's just no way that this high price, this $180, $190 holds. I'm calling it now that if you think you need to pre-order the Hobbit play boosters for a high, high price, that's a mistake. Now, the collector booster boxes, that might be another story. Pre-ordering, in my experience, I've done quite well pre-ordering collector booster boxes, even when they're at exorbitant high prices. That being said, I'm not a big fan of the Hobbit collector booster boxes and their price point, but I'm just saying, the point is, pre-ordering the Hobbit play booster boxes for these high inflated prices is a mistake. Same thing with Reality Fracture. Reality Fracture is exciting. I am very excited for Reality Fracture. I think it's going to be an incredible set. Having a Strixhaven Part 2, but it's the other 5 color pairs, allied color pairs, is really interesting. I think it's really exciting. Now, there's not as many of these pre-selling as The Hobbit. The hype for The Hobbit is just insane. But even so, people are buying Reality Fracture play booster boxes for $150 plus, pre-ordering, with the implication of pre-ordering at these high prices is that the price will be higher at release. or the product will be unavailable at a release. Either way, well, both would be true. If it's unavailable, the price will be higher. So will that be the case? Absolutely not. For the reasons I explained earlier, Wizards of the Coast has every incentive and every need to print as many of these as they can to pump up their numbers, to perform well as a company, to meet their fiduciary duties to shareholders, to improve revenue. There's just every incentive for these to be extremely abundant to stores, which would make it impossible to hold even a $150 price tag. It's going to go the way of Secrets of Strixhaven, a very successful and loved set, but there's plenty of it out there. And $130 is honestly a good deal for us, the consumers. It's well below MSRP. And I'm not sure exactly how that pans out against distribution costs, but people are selling it, and so it must work out somehow. All right. You know, there's other thoughts, other things I could share. We're running short on time. In summary, don't pre-order for these extreme prices. There are lots of opportunities in the market. Opportunities like, look, Final Fantasy collector booster boxes are surging up. They were, $1,300 a couple days ago, and now they're $1,500. Will these be a $2,000+ booster box before the end of the year? That's what it's looking like. I think there's lots of opportunities in the stuff that's less talked about as well. Murder Call of Manor, collector booster displays. I mean, it's wild to think that for 2 The Hobbit Play booster boxes, you can get a Murder Call of Manor collector booster box that similarly, I mean, the liquidity isn't as strong. This honestly isn't going to be as short term of a flip. This would be a longer term bet, but I'm just saying these collector booster boxes that are sub $400 and are older seem to be a good purchase. It feels like the market is moving in a direction where these collector booster boxes are sought after by players, by collectors, by investors, and sub $400 is an opportunity. Things like Assassin's Creed Beyond booster displays. As I mentioned, these are running short at distribution, or at least they're limiting how many stores can buy. If you're able to get these, I know on some websites you can buy them for $105 a box. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. Outlaws at Thunder Junction collector booster boxes for $413 is a good deal. There's a number of these that sold just in the past week. There's been all kinds of sales. It is interesting. It makes you feel like there's a coordinated group that's trying to buy out all these kind of products. Will they, and I mean buy out as if, I mean, selling 17 of these is hardly a buyout when there's so many available on the market. I mean, of course, the price goes up pretty quick if you just buy a ton on TCG Player, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the price go up as people are buying these. But anyways, long day. Lots of opportunity out there. The opportunity is not with these pre-ordering of Play booster boxes. Be careful out there. Be careful with your money. You worked hard. You earned your money. I mean, I hope you did. And so just be careful with how you use it. I've shared a lot of my opinions. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks to my generous patrons. And subscribe, please.